What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. It's a new year and there's some new settings that we need to go over to help you achieve the best possible quality on your live streams. In this video, we're going to get you the best possible settings to get your live streams looking nice and crispy. But speaking of making your live streams look nice and crispy, let's give a shout out and thank you to our sponsor for today's video, Owned.tv. Owned.tv is your one-stop shop for fresh new graphics for your stream. Whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or Kick, you'll find something that's a perfect fit for your channel. They offer full themed overlay packages, which are great if you're trying to give your stream a complete makeover, but let's say you're looking to pick up some new alert graphics, don't worry, because they've got you covered there too. You could find single graphics such as alerts, emotes, banners, panels, and logos as well. And one of the best parts about these overlays is that they are completely modular. So if you and your friends all pick up the same overlay, such as this Rodan one right here, you could change the colors and tweak it to match your brand, and none of you will have the exact same overlay. If you're looking to take your stream to the next level, be sure to check out Own.tv using my link below to support the channel. And don't forget, use code HAMMER at checkout for an additional 50% off your order. Now, back to the video. Alright guys, so here we are on OBS. I have my OBS open currently, and the first thing we're going to do to start tweaking your settings is obviously head down to the bottom right hand corner and enter your settings. Now in this first tab right here, I'm going to position this so that you guys can see my camera as well. Within this first tab, there's nothing extremely important that's going to change the quality of your stream. However, I would suggest changing your theme because I'm really enjoying this Yami theme. You can go with a gray theme, you can go with a dark theme, you can go with an Acre theme right like that. I prefer the Yami theme, so that's what I'm sticking with. But there's one setting in here that's going to make setting up your streams a little bit easier. And if we scroll a little bit of the ways down, probably about halfway here, we have source alignment snapping. You want to enable this and maybe set it to 10, or you can tweak this however you want. We're going to enable snap sources to edge of screen, snap sources to other sources. This is going to just make it a little bit easier to position things within your scene. They're going to be able to like kind of snap and make things a little bit more even. If you don't want to use this and you want to kind of free move everything around, you can always uncheck this box to disable it. So moving on to the next tab on the left-hand side, the streaming tab. This is where you're going to enter your streaming service settings. If you're streaming on Twitch, you're going to select this drop down here and select Twitch. Leave the server on auto, which is recommended. It's going to pick the best streaming server based on your location. And then there'll be a button here that says connect account. You can do this with Twitch. I'm pretty sure you can do this with YouTube. And with Kick, I think you do still have to enter your stream key and stream URL. So if you do select Kick, those boxes will be available to you here. One important thing I want to note though in this tab, no matter where you are streaming, check the box that says ignore streaming service setting recommendations. This is going to allow us to get our stream to look a little bit crispier than everyone else's. Moving on to the next tab on the left hand side, we have the output tab. Here is where all the important stuff goes down. At the top, you want to select the output mode to advanced. Make sure it's not on simple. And then make sure you're in the streaming tab right here. Within this tab, you can basically copy most of my settings and then tweak it to match your machine. The next most important thing to note here is the video encoder. I'm using the NVIDIA NVENC H.264 encoder because I'm using an NVIDIA GPU. I do recommend staying away from X.264 because what that's going to do is use your CPU for encoding rather than your graphics card. If you have the option to, you want to be using your graphics card to do most of your encoding. Otherwise, you're going to see some pretty heavy frame drops in most of the games that you are playing. Rescale output, we want to set this to disabled. Jumping down to the encoder settings, our rate control, we're going to set this to CBR. For your bitrate, you're going to want to set this to 8,000. Your keyframe interval can be set to 2 seconds. Your preset can be set to P7 or slowest for the best quality. If you're struggling or maybe dropping frames or getting some encoding overload errors, you can drop this down to P6 or even P5. The difference between P5 and P7 isn't that great, so I suggest starting with P7 and then working your way down to P5 if you are getting some performance issues on P7. For tuning, we're going to set this to high quality. Multipass mode, we want to set this to 2 passes, full resolution. For profile, we want to set this to high. Look ahead, we're going to uncheck, and psycho-visual tuning, we're going to have checked. For our GPU box, we're going to set this to 0, and our max B frames, set this to 2. As for the other tabs at the top up here, recording, audio, and replay buffer, we can kind of ignore those since this video is just focused on getting your stream set up with the best possible settings. Over on the left, we're going to move down to the audio tab, and in this tab is where you're going to basically set up any of your audio devices. Your sample rate should be set to 48, and your channel should be set to stereo. Under global audio devices here, your desktop audio device will be whatever devices you are using to hear audio, right? So for me, I basically have the broadcast stream mix because I'm using a Go XLR to kind of mix down all my audio. If you are someone who is not using a audio interface of any sort and you're just gaming with your headphones on, you're going to want to set your desktop audio device to those headphones or to just default. Whatever you have your sound playing back to you, you're going to set that to default. If you have a little bit more of an intricate audio setup where you're using a Go XLR or some sort of audio device like a Focusrite Scarlett, I do have videos on that on the channel, but for the purposes of this video, this is for the best possible settings on your stream. So you're going to set this to default if you are not using an audio device. If you are, like I am using, it gets a little bit more complicated, but under the mic audio spot here, we're going to be using the broadcasting stream mix, but that's only if you're using a Go XLR. Like I said, if you're using a headset and a microphone for your desktop audio device, you're going to set that to your headphones, and for your microphone, you're going to set that to your headset mic or your Yeti or whatever microphone you are using. Now on the left, we're going to jump down to the next important tab here, which is the video tab. So in the video tab, your base canvas resolution is basically going to be what you are gaming at. If you're gaming at 2K or at 4K, your base canvas resolution is going to be that resolution. For your output scaled resolution, this is where it's going to basically take the video that it's encoding and compress it to whatever resolution you want it to be visible on Twitch or YouTube or Kick. So in my case, I game in 1080p at 240 hertz. So I stream in 1080p at 60 FPS on Twitch and on YouTube. So basically what you're going to want to do here is make sure that your base canvas resolution is whatever resolution you are gaming at, and then the output resolution is going to be whatever resolution you want your stream to be shown as. And then your downscale filter, if your resolutions match, this is not an option. Let's say you're streaming, you're gaming in 2K or 4K and you're streaming in 1080, you're going to select Lanxos, which is the top downscale filter here, to make sure that it looks nice and crispy. And then for common FPS values, if you're playing games, you're most likely streaming in 60 FPS, so you're going to want to select that here. As for these other tabs, the hotkeys tab on the side, you can basically set any keybinds that you want to do any functions within OBS on your keyboard. If you have some extra keys on your keyboard that you're not using, feel free to scroll through here and set up some keybinds to make streaming a little bit easier. You can start and stop your stream with one button, maybe mute your microphone. You can pretty much set anything that you want to do in these hotkeys if you have some extra keys on your keyboard that you want to utilize. As for accessibility, we can completely skip over this tab, and then the last tab is advanced. In the advanced tab, you want to make sure that your process priority is set to normal. If you set this any higher, like above normal or high, what's going to happen is your computer is going to allocate more resources to OBS, and you're going to start losing frames drastically in whatever games that you are playing. So make sure this is set to normal. For your video tab, I'm set to Direct 3D 11. My color format is NV12. My color space is 709, and my color range is set to limited. If you set your color range to full, you're going to run into some problems with certain games where things are going to look way too dark. So I do suggest keeping your color range set to limited. SDR white level 300 nits and HDR normal peak level is set to 1000 nits. And if you scroll down just a little bit more, you can add an extra stream delay here if you want, and also enable the automatic reconnect feature, which is going to basically be so, if you're streaming and your internet drops out for 10 to 15 seconds, it's not going to completely cut off your screen. Your viewers will see like this streamer is trying to reconnect. It won't end your stream. It'll still be part of the main stream. So I do suggest enabling automatically reconnect and put it on a retry delay of 2 seconds with a maximum of 25 retries. If your internet goes out for over a minute or so, then obviously your stream would be cut off. But this is a good feature to have just because sometimes there are little blips in your connection. Maybe you might drop internet for 10 seconds and you don't want it to end your entire stream. So I would suggest turning that on. So that's about it, guys. I hope that was able to help you. I hope it makes your stream look nice and crispy. And don't forget, I have tons of videos on the channel going over audio and video and how to change the shape of your webcam. Tons of awesome things if you're just getting started with streaming or if you just want to improve your stream's quality. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on those post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post a video. And if you guys want to come hang out with me live, I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/hammerdance. There's going to be a link to that in the description below this video. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I want you to keep those hammers up, and I'll see you next time.